Welcome to Plumb5 SMS Engagement tutorial. By the end of this video, you should be able to create, manage and execute SMS campaigns. I would also be demonstrating how to create templates, groups and manage service provider configurations. The SMS Engagement module opens to a dashboard, showing the latest SMS responses. The report can be filtered based on day, month, week or year. The legends at the bottom of the report can be clicked to filter the report, based on the response statuses. We now move on to the Contacts module. This screen displays all your contacts and their unified customer profile. The drop-down on the top of the list can be used for performing actions on a contact for a specific group. Data filter drop-down is also available. The Import Contact features allows you to import contacts both in bulk and single. You could either choose to use a comma-separated value file or a Microsoft Excel sheet. The sample format is available for download. Click the link example file to download. You can also add custom fields to the contacts master dataset. Click on the Add Custom Field button to add or edit the contact fields. Moving back to the main contact page. Each of these validity icons represent the current state of the contact. Clicking on the contact icon opens up the unified customer profile. This dashboard comprises of all metrics related to the single customer. This is a single view for all data received from all interactions and engagements. You can view the clickstream data, mobile engagement data, and the public social profile of the contact, if any. The embedded Google Map displays the last 3 visited locations of the customer. Groups. By default, Plumb5 provides 4 groups, namely, all contacts, inactive contacts, prospects and customers. In order to create a group, click on the Add Group button. Add a name and a description for the group. Before adding a group, please note that there are 2 types of groups: static and dynamic. Static groups stay intact and are not affected by any filter rules. Whereas, a dynamic group changes based on a data filter. For example, you could have a dynamic group that only retains contacts who have responded in the last week. Templates. This screen lets you create and edit your SMS templates. Click the Add Template button to create a new SMS template. Once on the Create screen, select the campaign associated and give a name for the template. Now you can add the message content. Add tags lets you add data placeholders in the template. These placeholders would be replaced with the real value. Once the message content is done, you can add a URL by clicking on the Create URL button. You should be using a shortened link for SMS. Once the link is created, you can add it to the message. Once the link is appended to the main message, you can see that the link is substituted with a number, in this case 5. This number 5 corresponds to the ID of the URL listed below. The configuration screen lets you add 2 settings. Namely, the service provider API credentials and webhook settings. Before you add a service provider, you would need to select the type of SMS. There are 2 types of SMS, transactional and promotional. Transactional SMS can be sent for any purpose, like OTP etc., and a promotional SMS, is sent solely for marketing purposes. Plumb5 comes with a default set of SMS service providers that you can select from. Once you have selected the service provider, you can go ahead and add the credentials. Depending on the service provider, it could be either username and password, or an API key. If you are using the same provider for both promotional and transactional SMS, you would need to add them twice. Webhook settings. A webhook is an HTTP callback. It's a simple event notification via HTTP post. A web application implementing webhooks will post a message to a URL when certain things happen. Once you have added a title for the webhook, you can choose conditions by clicking the checkboxes. The first one lets you associate the webhook with a specific template. Select duration, lets you choose a date range during which you wish the webhook to fire. Select required fields, lets you filter based on only those contacts who have an email ID, or a phone number. Finally, we select the option Send To. Here you decide whether you would want the webhook to fire for all delivered, or for all clicked responses. In this case I have selected for all clicked. After entering the webhook API URL, you would need to map the fields of the Plumb5 system with that of the receiving system. For example, the field name in Plumb5 could be mapped to username on the receiving side. This interface lets you map fields between the Plumb5 system and the system that is going to receive the webhook notification. Once you have saved the settings, you can click the status icon to activate it. All settings will be inactive by default. Manage campaign. Here you add and edit campaigns. Campaign schedule lists out all your scheduled campaigns. The view can be filtered by day, week, or a date range. Campaign report. Here, all your SMS campaign reports can be viewed. The campaign status summary is also provided in the grid. Send SMS. Here you execute or schedule the campaign. The first choice is Test SMS. Clicking Yes would only send a single SMS for testing purposes to the phone number entered in the field. Clicking No would execute the actual campaign. As mentioned earlier, you will need to select the SMS type. Then you need to select the template and the group. Once all the above settings are finalized, you can either choose to schedule or execute the campaign. In the case of non-real-time integration with Plumb5, you can use the campaign download screen to get the details of a campaign. Once you have selected the template, group, and campaign, you can download the campaign details in an encrypted format. The file format is P5CRXT. This file can be decrypted using the Plumb5 encryption tool. After successful execution of the campaign, you would need to upload the results via the Plumb5 encryption tool's uploader. The usage of this tool is explained in a separate video. Please refer to the video for operational instructions. Lastly, My Downloads. Keep a log of all your campaign downloads. That brings us to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Plumb5, the unified data platform.